very good afternoon to you, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of your favorite business development program on Radio Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business, and it's brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass is also brought to us by JL Properties. JL Properties, the city's favorite developer. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name, as always, is Yaw Anim Barnafo, and I'm happy to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. In the last 3 weeks, we've been talking about coaching and how it helps our businesses to grow. I promised that my intro today would be really short. We're privileged to have with us back here in the studio the CEO of Search, Sika Twum, who's been talking to us about coaching and how it can help our businesses to grow, why we need coaching, and there's something she always says, that everyone needs a coach. I asked a question week before last when I ended the show about why some people think they don't need coaching, and our resource person made it a very fair point to share with us the content for last week to address that last question I asked. And so if you're a CEO, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking, I know everything there is to know. I've been to Harvard, I've been to Cambridge, I've been to the Ivy League schools. This is my business, this is my money. They don't know more than I do. You know how we always think here in Ghana that the owner of the business knows more than everyone else. We always say that life is too short to make all the mistakes yourself. Tap into other people. That's the value of leadership. Leadership is not when you do all the work by yourself. It's when you get the job done through other people, and that's a true value of leadership. Good leadership brings good profitability and therefore good business and a good economy. This afternoon, Auntie Joyce is going to take us through a final rendition here on the show where we talk about coaching. So it's one that has mixed feelings. We're excited that she's still here with us, but we sort of have mixed feelings that this will be the last time she talks to us about coaching. And so when we do get interactive, pick up that phone, give us a call. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's share thoughts. Let's all become better for it. Hopefully sometime in the year, when we talk about something else, we'll get Auntie Joyce to come back here in the studio and share some thoughts with us. But otherwise, today, we still talk about coaching. And we're talking about return on investment. We're also going to talk a bit about women-centered coaching and bring it all together and tie it in nicely towards the end. So do stay here. If you know someone who's interested in this conversation who's not listening, pick up that phone, give them a call, send them a text message, tell them to tune in to Joy 99.7 because Masterclass is on air right now. Auntie Joyce, you're welcome to today's edition of Masterclass.
You know, before we started, I told Yaw that today I'm going to be like a teacher whose students are taking their final exam the following day.
Indeed.
And she hasn't finished the syllabus.
Indeed.
And she has to complete it. So I'm going to be taking return on investment in coaching. I'm going to be taking women-centered approach to coaching. And then I'm going to end with factors to consider when you are choosing a coach. Okay? So I'll start with the first, which is return on investment. And I know a lot of managers, a lot of CEOs are asking themselves, if I bring in a coach, am I going to get more than the amount I spent in bringing in that coach? Okay, so basically what we are looking at is the desired outcome of coaching. Is it commensurate with the amount that is put into it? And my answer is yes. Okay, I would even say yes before I start. You remember when I started this, I gave an example of Oprah, and I said, Oprah said the best decision she has made in the past 25 years of her life was to have taken a coach. And that's indicative of the fact that there's results. I also mentioned the fact that Bill Gates and late Steve Jobs said everybody needs a coach. And so clearly this means that there are results. Now I'm going to go through
So clearly you don't need a coach because you have a deficiency or because you're not good at something or because it speaks that you're weak or anything of the sort, but because you need to be a better version of yourself.
I always say, just ask yourself, do I want to grow? Do I want to evolve? Do I want to transform? And do I want to impact? If you want to be able to do these four things, then you need a coach.
Everybody needs a coach.
Everybody needs a coach.
Right.
So I'm going through an article I read, International Coaching Federation reports, indicates that 86 to 90% of companies who have invested in coaching have made back their investment, and 99% are satisfied with the overall experience. Now, this is evidenced in 3 areas: increased productivity, positive people, clear measurable outcomes. And I'll take them one by one. Increased productivity. There's improved work performance, 70%, improved business management, 60%, improved time management, 57%, improved team effectiveness, 51%. With regards to positive people, it says you have 80% improved self-confidence and self-trust, which means people who go through coaching within the organization become confident and, they trust themselves. You have to face trust to face the challenges in meeting the organizational demands, in meeting the demands that are going on around them. 75% improved relationships within the organization, improved communication, and improved work-life balance. Okay? And then there's clear, measurable outcomes. Many times when an organization asks a coach to come in, there is an engagement between the manager who is going to be coached, the HR professional, and the coach. So there are clear, measurable outcomes, which also at the end of the day, when you look at it and they've been achieved, then you know that, yes, you got what you wanted. Okay, now I'm going beyond that. Now, there are, however, gaps when it comes to the way the return on investment is measured, which I say is linear. Okay, it's very linear. Now, if through coaching somebody is trained in a skill, it's very clear. You can tell that this was the deficient area. The person has been taught this. Now, evidently, this is what is happening. The person is using it, and it's improving.
They're working a bit more efficiently now.
Yes. However, there are aspects of coaching that is not that tangible.
Intrinsic.
So, yes. If I talk about self-esteem, if I talk about somebody who is not achieving his sales targets, and through coaching, you find out that the person is not confident, the person has a low self-esteem, and you work through that, and the person now enhances their self-esteem, and they start working, and their sales begin to increase. The measure of the self-esteem shift cannot be measured in the way that return on investment is measured. Okay, the formula.
Well, but even to help that process, I would assume that if the person is a bit more confident and now their orientation has changed and they feel good and stronger and more confident, their output will be better. And that output can be, even though it's an indirect line, it can be drawn right back to the investment on coaching.
That is why there are other ways to measure coaching return on investment. And I'm going to talk about just two other ways. One is the application of what Dr. Donald Kirkpatrick's taxonomy for evaluating training programs. He was a former president of the American Society for Training and Development. So he said that, you see, when you have training and you want to test whether you have gotten return on the investment you put into it, there are 4 levels that you look at. One is the emotion and the reaction of the people. So you ask the participant, did you like and enjoy the training? In the same way in coaching, you can test it by asking, did you like and enjoy the coaching process? Okay, that's one way by which you can evaluate. Another is the level 2, which is learning. You measure the knowledge that has been acquired. If it's training, you are going to measure the knowledge that has been acquired, the skills that have been learned or developed, and changes in the attitude. In the same way, in coaching, you can measure the knowledge that has been acquired, the skills that the person has learned. Okay? Then the level 3 is behavioral changes. So the extent of behavioral change as a result of learning. So take a situation where a boss is my way or the highway. Okay, he doesn't engage in any way, doesn't listen to.
I'm not here to pamper you.
Yeah. He doesn't listen. He doesn't
I'm not here
have
to
good
babysit
people
you.
skills. And through coaching, the person's people skills shifts, and there's behavioral change. That is also a way by which you can evaluate the return on your investment. Okay, then there is the result produced by engagement in a training program. And I keep using this: sales, increase in sales, reduced cost, or business-related matrix. Okay, so basically he is saying that the same taxonomy, okay, that is used to look at training and to look at the return on investment can also be used with regards to coaching. Okay, so you have emotion, you are looking at emotion and reaction, you are looking at learning, you are looking at behavioral change, and you are also looking at results that have been produced as a result of the training program.
In support of that, would you therefore then say, and I'm asking this because I'm assuming that my entrepreneurs and my business owners are thinking in the same light. Why do I spend time to train someone when I can just get another person? And I'm saying this, that history has proven, and time has proven time and again across the divide, that people who transition from one side of a conviction to another oftentimes become the best asset. So hitherto, if I was not confident and you train me to become confident, you find that what they do when they have now transitioned becomes bigger, stronger, and better, and even more sustained than if they were not, and than the person who was born like that. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from those who are like that, but I find that in my experience and in my examples I've seen across industry, people who transition come out with a stronger verve, a stronger thrust, a stronger propulsion.
And they add more value to the organization. It's tangible. Many times you can see that as a result of the fact that they have come out, they are now confident, they believe in what they do, their whole attitude changes. Their attitude towards clients will change because there's that innate, that now they are intrinsically motivated.
And there's also the benefit of institutional memory, which you don't have to teach them again.
Yes. Okay, then, so I've talked about the other, the first person. I'm talking about Anthony Grants. He's also saying that he was a coaching psychologist, and he said, well-being and employee engagement is also a framework that we can use to test return on investment. Okay, so he said return on investment is a poor measure of coaching success.
I'm sure the business team will agree, would disagree with him.
It's a poor measure of coaching success, and that it should be more holistic. The approach should be more holistic, using a well-being and employee engagement framework. Okay, so the well-being is you are looking at high levels of a number. Now, if you enter an organization and people are psychologically low, you can tell the mood. Today, somebody is sick. Tomorrow, somebody has taken a sick leave. You can tell that there's an issue with the well-being of the staff.
The general energy levels are low.
So he is saying, when you look at the well-being and you look at employee engagement, you can also use that to assess the return you are getting from coaching. Okay, so with regards to well-being, he said high levels of a number of facets of psychological well-being, including self-acceptance. If you are in an organization and your team, accept themselves, they know the purpose for which they are there, and all as a result of coaching, the purpose for which they are in life, what their contribution is, and the relationship to each other is positive. It enhances the well-being within the organization. And when the well-being is enhanced, clearly, sales will rise, customers will be better served, and things become better. And then he also said the workplace or employee engagement. Here you are looking at a state of high energy when you go to an organization, and as a result of coaching, there's been a shift, and there's a state of high energy, strong involvement, strong sense of performance, commitment. The performance increases. Okay, so basically what we are saying here is that there are other ways as well that you can measure the return on investment with regards to coaching. And the two that I've mentioned is that of Kirkpatrick's taxonomy for evaluating training programs, and I've also mentioned Anthony Grant's well-being and employee engagement framework. So here, I believe I have convinced you.
You have, and I'll just add this, that for our business owners who, I always say that people are a function of their orientation, and therefore our stereotype is that, listen, you're here to do a job, you get paid at the end of the month, just do the job and go home. But time is changing. Narratives are changing across the business terrain. The reason other companies are doing well, and the reason why some of our companies do not grow beyond a certain level, is some of these fine, soft things we're talking about. So don't just throw them away and then say, oh, it's unnecessary. I mean, why am I going to spend time? If your employee have, or let's say the employees you have, they have a good, feeling about themselves and a good sense of confidence and everything, it directly translates into the work that you're giving them. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting in front of you for 8 hours and they'll give you 3 hours, 3 hours of productivity every day. You still pay them at the end of the month.
When they could have done 1 hour and be even more productive.
Exactly.
Okay, so look at it in all aspects of life. I mean, sometimes I look beyond the organization and even look at the home setup. When a child is happy and a child feels fulfilled and he feels confident, her performance in school improves, her relationship with the peers improves. Okay, so you can relate it to all of that. Even you, the CEO, okay, you find that when you are in a better state, it impacts their rippling effects on your team and on your productivity. And so, we are not robots. I always say that human beings, you are dealing with human beings and not robots. So that is what I'd say about the coaching return on investment.
Right.
Now, moving into the women-centered coaching, which is a revolutionary approach to coaching. And I'm repeating. The woman-centered approach to coaching is a revolutionary approach to coaching which helps to identify the inner barriers of women, the inner barriers to identify, to release, and to break through their inner barriers, which stands in the way of women moving to their next level. Now, let me just give you some background to this. Now, coaching is a $20 billion industry. now. It's a $20 billion industry.
I think it's even
In
bigger
fact,
than
it's
the
the fastest growing industry aside from IT.
It's actually bigger than the exercise industry.
Yes.
That's about
it's
$8 billion.
$20 billion industry. Now, women make up 70% of the audience for coaching. And this has changed the game. If women make up 20%, then it means that the needs of women in coaching needs to be served better than it used to be. Okay, now the priorities, the challenges, and the needs of women are different. You remember when I started with this whole history, when we started this whole masterclass, we realized that there's a problem without a name. Okay, now I'll get to the problem with that when it comes to women. Now, the priorities, the challenges, and needs are different. And traditional coaching cannot, and I repeat, meet those needs. Reason being, traditional coaching process is linear. And it's logical. You set a goal. If I look at the GROW model, okay, so you have the goal, you have the, realities, you have the options, and then you have the way forward, okay? And so it's a step-by-step linear approach, which is good for certain needs, okay? But it doesn't satisfy, it doesn't go to identify my inner barriers, okay, and break through. It doesn't have the tools to do that. And so we are saying that this fact that women make up the 70% of audience creates a huge opportunity for anyone who helps women.
Let me just add this quickly. You know, when you started talking about women being 70%, I just flippantly thought, oh, but aren't there more women than men? And then I just checked it out. Apparently, across the world, and this is data from 2020 Wikipedia, the number of men and women in the world as of 2020 is slightly. The number of men in the world is about 50.4% of the total, and women are just about 49.6%. So it's not that different.
No.
If we have equal numbers like that, then the 70% you're talking about becomes significant.
Yes. You know, and when I started, I talked about Thomas Leonard, who introduced International Coaching Federation, and he's a man. Okay, and so he clearly created it such that. That's why I keep saying it's a man's world. Okay,
it's a patriarchal society.
And so
you can say it's allowed. It's a man's world.
It is a man's world. Okay, and a lot of the things have been geared to according to the ways of men, and women have embraced it over a period, but they are beginning to realize that it doesn't create that shift I want. Okay, so I'm saying the fact that women make up 70% of the audience for coaching creates a huge opportunity for anyone who helps women to succeed and thrive if they are equipped with the tools to identify, to explore, and to break through the inner barriers of women. I'm going to explain that even more. Now, what is the problem of women now that has made women-centered coaching approach a necessity? I wouldn't say the problem. The issue of women, okay, is that they are shifting from achievement to self-actualization. Okay, at first, it was more of achievement and, I've risen, I'm now this, achieved, I've achieved. Now they realize that, yeah, we want the achievement, but we want more than that. Okay, we want to embody authentic confidence. We want to be in growth-oriented relationships. We want to love ourselves. We want to be visible and own our voice. Okay, so those things, we want to have a deeper spirituality. We want body confidence. Okay, we want to be able to align our values, our skills, our interests with the occupation that we are doing so that it's in sync with who we are. So the shift, because of this shift, okay, the traditional does not really do it. Okay, now what stands in our way, which we call the hidden blocks or the hidden barriers, is shame-based, and I'll explain that, shame-based fixed meaning making. We have shame-based fixed meaning making, and I'll explain it. And then we have a mindset of scarcity and lack. Okay, a woman will always say that I'm not enough. No, I haven't gotten it enough. I'm never enough. Okay, until, is
it the same thing that you often hear? I don't have anything to wear.
Yeah, I don't have anything to wear.
And they have a wardrobe full of.
Yes. So is this mentality of not enough, scarcity and lack, which is in our subconscious, and which is as a result of upbringing, stereotyping, societal,
orientation.
All of orientation, and it's in our subconscious, and it's difficult for you to identify your inner barrier. Okay. And so basically what I'm saying is what stands in our way is the shame-based fixed meaning making, okay, is the mindset of scarcity and lack. It's isolation and disconnection from resources. What that isolation, you hear women say, as for me, I want to be on my own. Oh, the issue of trust and I don't want any kind of trouble, so I prefer to be on my own. So these are hidden blocks. Okay, now I'm going to expand on this. How these show up, how the shame-based fixed meaning making, the mindset of scarcity and lack, the isolation and disconnection from resources, how it shows up is that you find that women seek external validation and are threatened by disapproval of others. That's why in an office setup, a man would be corrected and he will say, okay, I think I have to change this and you do this. A woman will say, because you don't like me, is there something about me? Immediately we feel there's a shame-based meaning that we give to that thing.
We see the world the way we are,
yes,
not the way the world
and
is.
And then there's also, it shows up in the confidence gap. Okay, there's a need to be 85% more sure before we speak or share our views. So sometimes you find sometimes I look at women in parliament and I see a lot of this being reflected. Unless the woman is confident of what she's saying, she will not say anything. Okay, so we feel there's this confidence gap of wanting to be perfect before we are visible. Okay, before we feel ready to be visible. Then there's the expectation gap. Women's expectation are 50% of those of men who may have the same economic and educational background. You may have a woman with the same education and background with a man, and she would say that, okay, well, if you pay me a little closer to what the man gets, it's okay. Okay, so there's this expectation. We don't expect too much. And it also comes from societal imprinting.
I was going to say, isn't that what we have made them become?
That's, yes. And then there's what we call the power penalty. Okay, where women have wealth and are judged harshly by society as being selfish, greedy, promiscuous. When you see a very wealthy woman, you say, she didn't get her money by herself.
The way she talks.
I'm sure she has a boyfriend somewhere. It cannot be her. Why cannot it be her? Why can't it be her? Okay, so there's the power penalty. Now, I'm saying that this is how the shame-based fixed meaning making, a mindset of scarcity and lack, the isolation and disconnection from resources, this is how it shows up. Okay, now, our everything is in our self-concept. It has to do with our self-concept, how we see ourselves, how we see others, how we see life, what we think is possible and not possible for us. It's in far-reaching ways, and this impacts on our choices, our experiences. I'll give you an example. If I feel that I am not good enough, the tendency is that my choices will show that I feel I'm not good enough.
Of course.
The experiences I draw to myself would be as a result of that mindset.
When I open my mouth to speak, that will also show.
Yes. Okay. So the prevailing narrative about power in society, what power means, what wealth means. If you don't have this, then you are not wealthy. All of that feeds into our self-concept and impacts on our ability to move to our next level of greatness, okay, because it affects our self-concept. So the gender, the body type, beauty, if you are not this shape, you are not beautiful, if you are, all of that. So we are saying that what the women-centered coaching approach does is that there's a methodology, a framework, practices that help you to break this, okay, to identify it, first of all, to create awareness, to identify it in the client, and to break it, okay, and to create
specific
a new
to
story.
Purpose.
Yes, okay. So I'll give you an example. Now, I indicated here, if you're coaching someone to attract her soulmate, okay, when the person has
you need coaching for that?
Oh, yeah, life coaches, we do relationship coaching. Because it's the same methodology that you are using.
I know. I just asked because I'm sure someone would want the answer to that.
Okay, the same methodology. Okay, so you are coaching someone to attract her soulmate. Now, when the person has no experience of seeing or experiencing love, this is a person who has come from a home where she never really saw love, never experienced love. So the experience is totally outside of her self-concept. Okay, unless you identify and explore the inner barriers that keep her blocked from having a thriving, loving relationship, her own self-concept will sabotage any attempt at behavior change, I hope you're getting it. Her own self-concept was because I haven't seen love before. This is my perception of love. This is what I've been told. And yet I want a striving. Okay, so we are saying that these are hidden. They are hidden. And until you can identify and release them and break through them, it becomes a vicious cycle. You see, that's why I talked, and I keep referencing that, the neurological levels of change, where we talked about the upper level change, which is my belief, the way I believe should change, my psychological shift, my convictional shift, my behavioral shift, before I come to the skills. Okay, I can acquire the skills, so I can give you steps to attract your love. Okay, do this. If you do this and you do this and you do this, you can attract your love. I can do all of that and maybe attract somebody, but in the relationship, because I haven't dealt with the issue of not feeling that I'm lovable, not feeling that I deserve to be loved, it will still come up.
So I'm just feeling very mischievous for all those who are helping people to make decisions and matchmaking people and pretending to be life coaches. Get yourself trained. Go to the train the trainer course as a life coach, and when you have done that, then you can begin to matchmake.
It's interesting that you said. I agree totally with you. You can apply this whether you are a life coach, well, if you acquire the skills and competencies of a woman-centered, because like I said, women are the thing. Okay, if you acquire that, it can be in your toolkit. Okay, and you will be able to. You can apply it as a HR practitioner. If an organization has an HR practitioner, a trainer, anybody who works with women and who wants to move from giving them good to great to extraordinary results. This would give extraordinary results. And when you say training of trainer, I remember something which I'm going to share. I'm going to say that in August we are training women-centered approach to coaching. So you can register if you are interested in becoming a woman's, having the skills and competencies to identify, to break through inner barriers of women in order to move them into their zone of greatness. You can call. I'm giving you a number you can call. Just call, say I'm interested, and they'll call you back and give you more information. So the numbers are 0241 87 40 42. I'll take that again. 0241 87 40 42. And there's another number, 0268 979401. And this is...
Maybe I should put out the email as well.
Yes.
So the email is searchac, one word, searchac@yahoo.com.
So
searchac@yahoo.com.
So if you are really interested in acquiring the skills and competencies of a woman-centered coach, together with your your executive coaching, your performance coaching, which means you can apply that and give extraordinary. I'm not talking about good results, not great results, extraordinary results. Okay, now finally I'm going into what do you take into consideration when you want to choose a coach. So I have just 5 things to help you look at that. Okay, 1, look at what I call the flow. Okay, when you sit with that person to engage, do you feel a connection? The comfort level, okay? Do you feel that person establishes a rapport? That person doesn't allow you to feel judged? That person has your interest? You feel some kind of intimacy. So check whether you are comfortable. That's why I always tell organizations, when you bring in a coach, don't force that coach on me. Okay? It's important that you allow the people who the person is going to coach to engage with the person and see if they feel confident. There's a flow. Okay, if there isn't a flow, it won't work. Okay, so you are going to ask yourself, what is the comfort level? What's the flow? The second is you want to look at the experience and the credentials of that person. How many years of coaching experience does the person have? If the person has 5 years coaching experience and another one has 20 years coaching experience, clearly the difference will be clear. Okay, so you are looking at years of coaching experience, what field, what kind of companies has that individual coached? And what kind of individuals have that individual coach? And what is your need? Okay, then you are looking at what coaching certification does the person have.
So whether or not they're fit for the job. Yes. I know we've got 3 more points to go, but let's get interactive so that our listeners can be a part of it. We're almost there to the end of our content, but seeing us today is the last show, I want our listeners to also be a part of it. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation. We're going to be getting interactive pretty shortly, but before we do that, we'll take a message from our sponsors. When we come back, we get interactive.
Owning a home in a clean, serene, strategic neighborhood should not be a luxury but a necessity. And at JL Properties, we make that dream a reality. JL Properties gives you value for your money in our fully gated and managed communities in North Airport, Achimota, and North Kaneshi. Enjoy reliable refuse collection, external area maintenance, and security in all JL communities. Make your home with us by logging on to jlpropertiesgh.com. JL Properties, the city's favorite developer.
Bro, in 30 minutes, the game begins. And you know, say, I always do on the safe side. That be why I always win when I bet.
My guy, you always want to be on the safe side. But for me, I'm bold and my courage allows me to go in for the underdogs. Watch out.
Charlie, you guys, they rush. As for me, I'm always skeptical about these games. So I don't rush, but go in for a draw.
Game on! USAF, where one be your vibe. With Soccer Bet, get the best odds and stand a chance to win up to 1 million Ghana cedis. Soccer Bet, your best bet for sports betting. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. Gaming can be addictive, not for persons below 18 years.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you have just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your superstation Joy 99.7, and we're here in the studio with Joyce Sika Twum, CEO of Self-Search. She's talking to us about coaching and its return on investment. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You can also pick up that phone and send us your comments on 055 1111997. Today is the fourth week since we've been talking about coaching. What have you picked up? What have you learned? How is it going to help your business? What do you want to know? If you need help, pick up that phone and give us a call 0302 216 541, or send us your comments on 055 1111997. Just to also remind you that today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle, Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia, and also by JL Properties. JL Properties, the city's favorite developer. Buying a home gives you the opportunity to build equity and secure your financial future. Owning a home is a great way to build a sense of stability and security. Investing in real estate gives you the potential to benefit from capital appreciation over time. JL Properties has been building homes for over more than a decade. Take that step now and own a home in any of our serene and fully gated communities in Achimota, North Airport, Adenta, and Wager. JL Properties, the city's favorite developer. If you also have any motor vehicle of any kind, then Goyle has some great news for you. Your oil marketing company of choice, Goyle, keeps making life ever so convenient. Goyle now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goyle. Goyle, Good Energy, Goyle. Yenara Yedia. Today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle, Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia, and also by JL Properties, the city's favorite developer. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. Pick up that phone, give us a call. Let's hear your thoughts. Today is the last time Auntie Joyce is going to be with us on the topic of coaching. Let's hear what you have to say. 0302 216 541, or send us a comment on 055 1111997. Auntie Joyce, we've got 3 more points to go before the phones start ringing, so perhaps we can go through them.
Okay, so I mentioned comfort level. How do you feel when you are with that person? Is there a flow? I mentioned experience and credentials. What is the experience of the person? And usually years of coaching experience, you'd want to know how many years of coaching experience, what kind of companies has the person coached.
Can a coachee turn a coach down based on point 2?
Definitely. If a coachee can turn a coach down, I don't feel her.
I don't feel the connection.
Okay, I don't feel that. That's, the last session I talked about creating a container of trust and intimacy. Okay, and that's a learned skill. And so if you don't have it and you are just rapporting, we talked about the rapport. The person doesn't feel you. I mean, there are people you meet for the first time. They may be nice, they may have the experience, they may have the credentials, but you just don't feel them.
And
Okay,
you would hear feedback like, "Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, that reminds me of something my daughter told me about 2 weeks ago. She said, there's this guy who is interested in me. He has all the qualities, but I don't feel him. I don't feel, which means
I'm not connecting."
Okay. And so that thing should be there. There are instances where I always say you can interview somebody and the person may have all the credentials, everything you need, but there's just something, and you should listen to that third sense. Okay, your intuition that says, this is no. So you want to see, is there the comfort level, the flow, the experience, and the credentials. Then you want to look at the full time.
And then take you back to the credentials again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be presumptuous of a coachee, or a would-be coachee, to turn down a coach on the basis of credentials?
It wouldn't be. It won't be. If the coach has years of...
Because I don't know what I want, which is why I need coaching in a certain area of my life. And so who has assessed the coach to make that determination? That's why I'm asking, wouldn't it be presumptuous of me as a coachee?
To turn the coach down
on the basis of perhaps my organization can do that, or perhaps somebody at a higher level can do that. But I'm just wondering.
Yeah, the organization would do that.
Exactly.
The coachee would do that if the coachee knows about certifications that coaches must have. Okay, I mean, I coach with leaders, women in leadership and all of that. And so some of them know that you can have a John Maxwell, certified coach.
Yeah.
I can be a feminine power certified coach. I can be International Coaching Federation certification. So yeah, if the coachee knows about it, he wants to know what's there. One thing I have,
I don't want someone who's come to tell me what they feel and what they think. That person I know somebody who's probably qualified.
Yes, somebody who's
that's a point you're making.
And who also knows the ethical standards. Okay, when you have some coaching certification, you know the ethical standards. You know the issue of confidentiality, and you know that you know the ethical standards. Simple. Yeah. Okay, so yes, you are looking at experience, you are looking at credentials, and I keep saying that coaching, a person can move into coaching from any discipline. Okay, so I can be a medical doctor and become a coach, and just get a certificate in coaching, but my years of experience adds up. You see, so that's why I said coaching. When I coach, my psychology, all of that comes into bear. Okay, you draw from various disciplines. So basically what I'm saying is experience and credentials. Then you also want to know whether the person is a full-time professional or a part-time coach. A full-time professional means that person has more hours of coaching experience than someone who is a part-time. Then
I have a question for you on social media. Yeah. This one is from Edmond Awaite. Edmond says, good afternoon to you, Edmond. Thank you for joining Masterclass. It says, what are some of the practical steps or strategies that women with low self-esteem should adopt to bridge the differential gap? He's interested in the women-centered approach.
Women with low self-esteem, what are the practical steps
or strategies they can adopt?
First of all, they need to do an assessment. Okay, you can do an assessment that would help you to know your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, and what kinds of environments suit you, your blind spots. An assessment usually gives you some information. Then it helps to see a professional. You see, many times we run away from the issue of seeing professional, but when you are sick, you see a doctor, a medical doctor. Okay, so it helps.
You don't see a chemist.
No.
And expect to get the results of seeing a doctor.
You see, the woman can read books and get steps and have affirmation statements that she's saying, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. But if you are beautiful and there's a disconnect between what you're saying and what you really believe.
It begins to sound like noise.
Yeah, it is noise. It is noise. Because your behavior, your actions, your choices must all align. Okay? And it can only align if those barriers have been removed. So if those barriers are still there, I'm beautiful, but I'm too fat. I'm beautiful, but certain clothes don't fit me. It's still in your subconscious. Okay? So you are saying something, but it's not in alignment with who you are and what you feel and what is hidden. It's not in alignment.
Right.
So yes, that's what I'll say. I'll say to that.
Yes,
question.
Please go ahead.
Then the last two. So I said full-time. Is the person a full-time? If the person is full-time coach, it means the person has several hours of coaching experience. So they've done it over and over and over again. Okay. If the person is a part-time coach, it means the person works and the person also does coaching. And that it's your choice.
Yes.
Then you also want to look at the location and the convenience, where the person is located, whether you can go there, if it can be done virtually. Coaching can be done virtually, okay, whether it can be done virtually and whether you prefer virtual. Then the last thing, notice the last thing I brought was cost, okay. Now, you want to know whether it's an hourly cost. Usually it's hourly, and there are packages, but you want to know whether there's a payment plan. And you know, one thing I always say is, there shouldn't be a payment plan. It's not good. When you are coaching a client, usually you pay before we start the process, because the coach has to give her all to you and cannot be thinking about next week he has to bring the other amount, or he hasn't paid. You don't want all of that distraction. Okay, so when you have seen that the comfort level is, there's a flow, and the person has the experience and credentials you want, and the person is maybe professional or full-time, part-time, depending on what you prefer, and the location is okay, then go for the cost, okay, for the investment that you will get to grow, to evolve, to transform, and to impact, and to break your inner barriers is phenomenal. That money you pay, the small money you end up paying, it's not small, but the money you end up paying is far less than the effect and the impact and the rippling effect that the coaching would give you. So those are the factors you should consider. And I'm honing in on the fact that if you're a woman, smart, successful woman in leadership, and you want to move to your next level, but you feel the inner barriers of, I start and I stop. I don't know, I just feel I want to own my voice, but I don't know how. Be part of the women-centered coaching approach, which will be in August, and I've given you the numbers. If you're also a coach yourself, you are a coach.
Can we put those numbers
area.
out again? Do we have them?
And you also want to acquire those skills of being a woman-centered coach, then call this number 024 187 4042. 024, the name of the person will be Frederick. 024 187 4042. Then the other number is 026 897 7404. Everyone needs
a coach. You know, I was actually going to say that it's actually also quite a good alternative or option to consider for people who want to start doing things for themselves.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the fact that you can go from any profession or any discipline to being a coach, so long as you feel the need and the strength that this is something you want to do. Why don't you consider it as a retirement plan as well? I mean, if you're going to get out of active service or active work, you know, go be a coach, talk to people. And then, because the value you bring to their lives is that you help them to become a better version of themselves. And it's phenomenal. You can't compare that to the investment that is made.
Yeah, and the value you even bring to yourself. I said the other day that you cannot give value unless you have value. So you do your own work. I have broken my own inner barriers, okay, and to get to the level, because I cannot model certain things within the coaching space unless I have done my work. Okay, so it allows you to break your own inner barriers of fear, of anxiety, of doubt, of not owning your voice and visibility, not loving yourself. You break it. And then when I'm doing it with you, I'm not doing it from a place of all knowing. I'm doing it from a place of I've been through it.
And I know how you feel.
Yes, I can empathize.
You know, and for all those of our listeners also who are thinking that coaching is alien to us, you know, when you train the child well, beat him very well, he will grow up and all of that. Things are changing today. So clearly coaching has come to stay. That's what they said about laundries. I remember in 2006, you know, a couple of friends came from England and they wanted to start a business, and we said, oh, let's go to laundry. And someone said, oh, but Ghanaians don't wash their dirty linen outside. What's happening today? Almost everybody in a certain circle is going to laundries. Same thing they said about fufu powder. Same thing they said. Now fufu powder is all over the place. Coaching has come to stay. Whether you're a business person, you want a life coach, whether it's your home, whatever it is, it's come to stay. If you need coaching, reach out and get help. Self-Search is one of those companies. We've put out the numbers. There's a training going on. You can also send them an email on searchac@yahoo.com. If you also want to make a career out of coaching, we've talked about all different types of coaching. Again, attend that event and you can be better for it. We've run out of time. If we remember nothing from this 4 weeks that we've spent with you talking about coaching, what should we remember?
Remember that if you want to grow, if you want to evolve, if you want to transform, and if you want to impact, then you need a coach. That's it.
Very, very, very solemn and packed Everybody needs a coach. Joyce Sika Twum,
Thank
CEO
you.
of Self-Search, has been with us for the last 4 weeks talking to us about coaching. I do hope that you have picked something up and you're going to become better for it. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Masterclass. Today's edition of Masterclass was brought to us by Goyle, Good Energy, Goyle Yenaradia, and also by JL Properties. If you're looking to make an investment into real estate, buy a house, build a home, by all means do get in touch with JL Properties. They are called the city's favorite developer. Thank you so much for joining us.